Hey everyone, Leo with Dreaming Tree, and welcome to the assembly video for our smiley face gift bag. I've got all my pieces cut out, as should you, and wanted to do something fun and quick to coordinate with our latest That 70s SVG bundle. Okay, so we have two sides, and you'll notice on each of these sides that we have a series of little markers, and that's to help you with the placement of the eyes and the mouth. So again, for the sake of time, I'm just going to do one side. Just make sure that you get it right into, do as I say, not as I do, right into the little marker spots there. Mine kind of slipped on me a little bit. Just make sure that that eye is straight up and down. That looks good. Okay, we'll do the other side, or the other eye, I should say. And just use those little markers as a guide. So we make sure that the eyes and the face looks nice and symmetrical. That looks pretty good. Okay, and then of course we have the mouth. Just throw a little bit of glue on there. And kind of dab it if you got a little too much on there. Just hit it with your finger so it doesn't go squirting out all over the place. And then we have the little markers for the ends of the mouth. Just want to make sure that you match that up accurately. And there you go, perfect. Okay, so that looks good. Now again, you're going to do the same thing on the other side with the two eyes and the mouth. I'm going to skip that part right now since it's pretty repetitive. And now let's take a look at the actual structure here. Now I opted to go with the solid score version of the file. I want to make sure that you fold everything at the score marks. And we made this easy for you. What we're going to do is we're actually going to take and glue these tabs to the outside of the structure, because then we have the panel that goes over it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually take this and fold it over like so. Just make sure that it's nice and secure and nice and tight around the face. Okay, and then we'll pull back this first little tab here, throw a little bit of glue on there. As I'm holding this one in place, just keeping it secure, and you can fold that tab over, make sure it's in place, and then just press down from the inside. Get that first one anchored. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, just to make this easier on us, is take the last tab, and you can see there's a little marker right there to help you ensure that you've got this lined up correctly. It should pretty much butt up against that little marker. Just get it as close as you can, and then press and hold that in place. It should be nice and tight around the actual structure. Just hold that in place. Okay, that looks really good and tight there. And then what we can do is flare the rest of these out and just do a very thin little layer of glue on each of these tabs. Fold them over, and you can put this down on your surface and press down on the inside here as you're pushing up against the structure, the curvature of the structure. And in no time at all, they should all be glued down just like that. Okay, so you can go over here now to the other side and just do the same thing. Now, if you're comfortable with it, you can actually just take and glue this last tab here into place. And as you're doing that, just make sure that you're pulling on it gently, but pull on it and make sure that it pretty much lines up with that little marker. It might be a little bit below that, and that's okay, but you want to just make sure that this is nice and tight around the structure. And just hold that in place. Okay, and once that's glued down, you can take and flare these out and just do a little dot of glue on each of them. You don't need a lot. You put a ton on there, you're gonna spend ages waiting for the dry. Push it over a little bit, and then press down along the inside as you're kind of pushing up against this wall and pushing it in towards the structure. Okay, there we go. And you can see how nice that looks. So now, I'm going to move these teeth out of the way. We'll bring the other side in. Just pop it in there, make sure the teeth are on the outside, and we'll do the same thing here. We'll take this tab, throw a little bit of glue on it, nice and thin, and get that connected. Push that up against the structure, make sure this is nice and tight around the curve, and press and hold, just like that. And we as well just do the other side here. And line that up as accurately as you can. Make sure it's nice and secure. And there we go. And then we can flare these back. I'm just going to do one side at a time. No need to rush it. We'll be done with this in just a few seconds here. Just a few dots here or there. Fold them over, tuck them under, and then just go ahead and run your finger along the inside to help push those tabs into place. Help them make good contact. There we go. And we'll flare these out. And just a little dot of glue on each of these. Press them back, fold them under, and just run your finger along the inside. Just like that, and there we go. So your structure is ready to go. Now at this point, we can take and put our little smiley face on the front and back. Okay, so let's do that. And I'm actually gonna apply glue to the main structure here. And go ahead and go a little bit heavier with the glue on this, because we're gonna take this glue and we're gonna spread it out to the very edge. Throw a little bit on the inside, spread that glue out, so that we have a nice clean seam when we put the face on. And if we need to go back in and sort of clean it up, we can, not a big deal. And I would just match up the bottom, make sure it's centered and nice and flush with that edge. And then the rest of it should just kind of fall into place. Just kind of work your way around. You can put that down flat on your surface, push down from the inside. There we go. And there we have it. And there's our little smiley. And then, obviously, you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Obviously, I didn't put the eyes or the mouth on there. You're going to do that. Okay, again, work that glue out to the edge. So we have a nice clean seam. Everything looks seamless, almost like we 3D printed it, but actually made it out of paper. Okay, that should match up perfectly all the way around. And press that down from the inside. Okay, there we go. So our little container is ready to go. And now we have this little piece here. And we're just going to throw a little bit of glue right in that little square on the bottom. And that's going to go right in there just to kind of thicken it up a little bit, reinforce the bottom. Make sure you get that centered and press that down. Okay. And then to finish it off, we're going to make a little handle. And it's two-toned, okay? And you'll notice that one of these has a little score mark and one has a little letter B on it. It's B for bottom. And we're going to take the smaller piece and put it on top. You're going to bump that up right up to the little score mark there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue. Actually, before we do that, learn this the hard way. You want to take this and train it a little bit. So grab yourself a dowel, place one of the strips between your finger and the dowel, lift it up about 90 degrees, and then run that dowel through, and you can see what it did there. Just kind of gave it a little bit of a curve. You're going to do the same thing on this side, just to curve it a little bit. And while we're at it, let's just do the same thing on this one, just to get it ready, like that. Okay, now, again, take the little strip, and we're going to bump it up like that. What I want to do here is I'm going to put glue on this little area here where the letter B is, but not quite up to the score mark. And then over here, I'm going to throw a little bit of glue right up to the very edge and spread that glue out to the very edge so that this whole thing sits nice and flush, and that very edge there, right there, is nice and solid. It doesn't go anywhere. It'll be very seamless, okay? And then just press that down into place. And while you're doing that, start to sort of shape it. You can see I have little holes here in the handle, and you can see how nice and round and perfect that is. Okay, so that's how we want it. Let that set. And we're gonna do the same thing with this guy. Okay, so here we have the one with the B, and then we have the little score mark. Now on this pattern paper, it's gonna be a little difficult to tell and see it, but you'll see it. Just use your eyeballs. And then we'll throw a little bit of glue on the bottom here, right up to the edge. Spread that glue out, okay? We'll do the same exact thing here. Pop that right on top of that letter B and nudge it right up to the little score mark. Hold that in place, and again, try to maintain that curve that we created when we trained it with our little dowel. Okay, and that looks pretty good. And now, you may want to give this a few seconds and let it set, but I think I'm okay. I'm going to start applying my glue onto this one, because this one's going to get glued on top of the other one. And the fact that they're both already curved is going to make the application a lot easier. Okay, so what I would do here is start off, and my little hole didn't come out, start off by lining up the holes on one side. Make sure that it's sitting right on top, and then very gently work your way up, making sure that this strip is centered on top of the other one all the way throughout. And then you might need to bend it a little bit to get the holes to line up there. And if they're slightly off, it's not the end of the world, because all we need to do is make sure that that little brad goes through there. Okay, and keep pressing that down, because sometimes because of the curvature, these two layers like to separate, and we're not gonna let that happen. You can see how perfect that is. Okay, and then grab yourself a brad. I'm gonna go with this turquoise one and pop that into one side. Move that out of the way, and let's spread. Well, it might help to do this before I pop it in there. Sometimes when they coat these with whatever they coat them with, paint, and then this one has some glitter on it, sometimes they get stuck together. You just have to spread them apart. Whoops. And let's get this one spread apart early before we have to do it while it's in there already. Okay, and there you go. So we can take this thing, and what we need to do is put some paper shred in there, whatever you want, and it is ready to go. So that's gonna do it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please visit us on our YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. We've got about 56,600 subscribers, as you can see on the counter behind us. Help that number go up. Don't forget to hit the bell so you get notifications anytime we release a new product as well. Don't forget to hit that like button on Facebook. And if you make this or anything from our That 70s bundle, I'd love to see it, and so would the rest of our community. So head over to your Facebook and do a search for Dreaming Tree Official. That's where you'll find myself and over 40,000 other dreamers that inspire us daily. So have a good rest of your day. Happy crafting, and as always, I look forward to crafting with you again. Hey, thanks for crafting along with me. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, check out some of our other videos, and also please consider hitting that subscribe button. And don't forget to visit our site and check out our free SVG section, where we have over 140 free SVG files complete with assembly videos. I look forward to crafting with you soon.